Well, John Schmeelk has been one of my regular guests on the show for quite some time, and today I've invited him to come on with another familiar face. John has been at the helm of the Giants Pregame and Postgame Show on WFAN for the past 2 seasons, and he'll be joined in the booth by a football legend for season number 3. That legend is Tiki Barber. The new radio duo joins me now. John and Tiki, thanks so much for coming on, and a big congratulations.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it, man. We're excited.
Oh, I'm excited to have you guys here. John, I'll start with you. This will be your 3rd season on the show. Talk about your passion for the New York Giants, how this show came to be, and how you initially got the gig.
Hey, look, I've been with the Giants since 2007. Got there just in time for the Super Bowl. Got there right as Tiki left, which that Tiki's final season there was 2006. I got there in 2007. And ironically, before I got there, I worked where Tiki now works, WFAN. So it's kind of a weird circular thing where we've missed each other a little bit, but now we're going to work together, which should be great. I've produced the Giants radio broadcast all those years. I just started hosting pre and post game, as you mentioned, the last 2 seasons. This will be season 3. And I could not be more excited to be working with a player that's 14th on the Giants top 100 list, over 10,000 rushing yards. I think he should be a Hall of Famer. Just look at his stats compared to guys like, Jerome Bettis, Terrell Davis, guys like that. And I could not be more excited.
Oh, I agree with you, John. And John, as self-explanatory as it may sound, pregame show, postgame show, can you talk about the premise of each and perhaps how the format has evolved since you first started?
Yeah, I mean, we try to be informative but fun. I think that's the best way I can describe it, where we want to give you the information and facts before the game so that you're ready for the game and know the important things to watch for. That'll determine who's going to win or lose and what the keys to the game are, who the important players are going to be. Football is very much a matchup-related game. What the important matchups are going to be, how coaches might have to adjust things based on the team they're playing. That's the pregame show, but you want to do it where you have fun. Football is supposed to be fun. People are at their tailgates before the game. People are listening in the car. You want to get excited for the game too. So it's a combination of those 2 things. And in the post game, even though it's tough when you haven't watched the coach's tape yet, which Tiki and I do every Monday morning, you want to give people a good sense of how to think about what happened that day. Whether it's what players played well, was it coaching mistakes on either side that caused a win or a loss? Maybe who were the unsung heroes that it's hard to see on the TV copy that played really well? Things like that. And again, do it in a fun way. And, just make sure people leave our broadcast thinking about the game in the right way. And T can speak to this, doing shows every day in WFN. A lot of times people get out of these games really, I think, thinking about why a team won or lost the wrong way. And I think it's our job to make sure that they're, kind of focusing in on the right things.
And Tiki, I have to say, being a sports analyst suits you very well. Not every former athlete can pull it off convincingly, but you're simply amazing at what you do. What made you decide to pursue this career, and how did you know it would be such a great fit for you?
It's a good question, Mike, and I think the answer is simple. Early in my NFL career with the Giants, I kind of sucked. And so I was trying to find something else to do in my off seasons, and it started, interestingly enough, at WFAN. I remember going over to Queens in the overnight with Joe Beningo and all those crazy folks that would work in the midnight hours and talking sports. And I realized I kind of liked talking, even though I grew up as a shy kid. As my career went on, the opportunities just got bigger and bigger from doing Fox News and then ultimately the Today Show. And then 15 years later, I land back at WFAN with a parent company, Odyssey. And here I am now on WFAN on a daily basis with Evan and Tiki from 2 to 6, shameless plug there. But I think analyzing games came about because of my brother. I didn't get into it right after I left the game, but he asked me when he was at Fox to come co-host one of his broadcasts. And I realized how much I missed watching film and breaking down NFL games and players. And it naturally led to the stints that I do now. And I'm finally back home with the New York Giants doing pre and post with John. And I couldn't be more excited.
That is so great to hear. And Tiki, you've co-hosted with so many talented and knowledgeable guys over the years, and now you get to add John Schmeelk to that list. In your experience as a co-host, what is it that creates good chemistry between you and the other guy, and why do you think John will be such a good fit?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think accepting what you don't know and learning from your co-host is something that has always been important to me. And so if you go back, and you know this, Mike, because you were with us during that COVID year with Brandon Tierney on Tiki and Tierney on Odyssey and WFAN, I knew not a lot about baseball. And I accepted that. And he taught me baseball to the point where I now have these deep conversations about why the Mets stink or why the Yankees lost 5 in a row. And it's become an absorption process for me. And I think with John, because of the way the Giants operate, they're very close to the vest. I call Dave's, he's Bill Belichick with a smile because he doesn't tell you anything. So you have to be there and into the grind of it. And John is. And I know we're going to put together a great broadcast each and every pregame and postgame because he has access. I also have access, but it's just my mind as a football player with his mind as an analyst.
And by the way, John, you've taught me a lot about football as well. And John, I know you've gotten to work with Tiki on occasion before. How cool is it knowing that he wanted to jump on board with you on a regular basis? Because it's not only cool that he's joining you, but it's also a testament to the great work that you do.
I am very humbled by all the kind words you guys are saying about me, by the way. Thank you very much. Look, I think what Tiki said was right on, by the way. Not enough people in this business know what they don't know. And I do think that's very important. I will never be able to understand what it's like in a football locker room, what it's like, for a player getting ready for a game, watching film, getting ready for a game. I never did that. So Tiki's going to bring that to the post-game show and the pregame show, that's something that I can't contribute. I'm going to bring some real nerdy football stuff, though. Like, you want to hear about EPA? Oh, I'm going to have those numbers for you ready to go. So I think it's a good combination where he's going to bring the football player perspective. I'm going to bring a lot of the analytical stuff. To Tiki's point, I'm in the building every day. I watch and listen to all the media availability. I have access to the players every day. Tiki has a different type of understanding of how players approach things as being a former great player for the Giants with a 10-year career. So I think the combination of our skills is what's really going to make this work. And both of us understanding that we maybe know more about one aspect than the other and leaning on each other and coming together to putting together the best broadcast we can. Our first one coming up on Saturday before the Bills game. The Giants kick off their preseason against the Bills on Saturday at 1 o'clock, and our pregame show starts at noon on WFAN. Another shameless plug.
And Tiki, I'll give you the final question. I know it's impossible to predict these things, but can you give us your general thoughts on the Giants this year, especially Russell Wilson, who's going to turn 37 during the season?
Yeah, he's getting close to my age. Not quite. He's 13 years younger than me, but you know what I mean.
He's trying to catch us, Tiki.
Yeah, he really is. Quarterbacks think they can play forever. And I know that Russell, having talked to him a few times being over there, feels as healthy as he's felt in a long time. He's lost some weight. He's always had that deep ball. You've seen over the last couple of years in Denver and then last year in Pittsburgh. He can still throw that deep ball. It's the other things, the elusiveness and the quickness that made him such a dynamic player in those early years in Seattle that we're still waiting to see if it's still there or not. I think my first time over with this new team and regime was about 3.5 weeks ago, maybe a month ago. And when I first walked in the door, Mike, there was a genuine enthusiasm. And I think it's because of the youth injection that's coming to this team. I think it's because of there is an idea of what the future plan is going to look like. Whereas in previous years with injuries and other things, it's felt like, where are we going? And so there's an optimism. But the challenge of this season is going to be the schedule of the season. It starts rough with Washington and then the Cowboys and then the Kansas City Chiefs and the Chargers. It's like all playoff teams right away. And so I think the key is going to not to be discouraged by tough outings. But I also know one of the great things about Brian Dable, our head coach, is that he creates this culture where there's an accountability, there is a smart way of playing the game, and ultimately keep it close and try to win at the end. If that mantra works, then the Giants can maybe surprise some people this year. But it's going to be a tough road to hoe, but it's not a challenge that I think anybody is backing away from.
As they say, time will tell. You can catch the Giants pregame and postgame show on WFAN. John Schmeelk and Tiki Barber, so happy for both of you guys. Best of luck, and we'll be sure to tune in all season long.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
Our pleasure.